Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads, conversations on love, connection, and compassion. I'm your host, Bob Barnett, and today I want to offer you a story. It's fiction, but it isn't false, because while this didn't happen to one boy, it's happening to thousands. This is the story of Elias, a child the world forgot to protect, and the light that somehow refused to go out. He was born just after sunrise, tiny, blinking, wrapped in a faded quilt stitched by his grandmother's hands. His mama, Mariah, was just 17, scared, exhausted, but in awe of this tiny life looking up at her like she was the whole sky. And in that moment, she whispered a promise. You will be loved even if it's just by me. And he was. For a little while, the world was soft. We know that doesn't last. Elias sang to crickets. He caught rain in jam jars. He believed fireflies were tiny angels playing hide and seek. He was gentle, earnest, the kind of boy who cried when he stepped on an ant. Not because he was afraid of punishment, but because he was sorry. He once gave away his only toy truck to a boy who didn't have one. He never mentioned it again. Not because it didn't matter, but because it did. He was the kind of good that can't be taught. The kind the world should have held safely. But it didn't. When Elias was 9, the lights in their trailer flickered out and didn't come back on. His mama stopped singing, started disappearing at night. She came home with bruises she didn't explain and eyes that stared through him like fog. Elias tried to be smaller, quieter, better. He did the dishes. He read stories to himself. He even whispered good night to the empty kitchen. At 11, he stole a loaf of bread. And guys, not because he wanted to. This is a good boy. But it was because he was tired of pretending that he wasn't hungry. At 13, he stopped raising his hand in class. At 14, he stopped going at all. Nobody came looking. The streets did. Oh, guys, I've known people just like this. By 16, he had a nickname, Ghost, because that's how he felt. By 18, he had a record. By 19, he had nothing but silence and steel. A robbery gone wrong. A man hurt. He got 8 years. The judge barely looked at him. But in prison, someone finally did. Father Thomas wasn't like the others. He didn't preach. Guys, he listened. That's rarity. It really is. And one day, Elias, scared of being seen, but desperate to be understood, said, "I wasn't always like this." Father Thomas didn't flinch. He just said, "I believe you, and you don't need to justify pain. You need to heal from it." Those words changed everything. Elias began to write. At first, just scribbles, things he remembered, half-forgotten dreams, fireflies, the sound of Mama's laugh when it was still real. Then stories about a little boy who used to believe. Who used to believe that the world had room for kindness. One of those stories got published in a small prison journal. And a child wrote back, "I want to be like that boy, the one who gives away his sandwich, the one who gives away his truck." Elias cried harder than he'd ever cried, not from shame, but from hope. When he got out, he wasn't Ghost anymore. He was Elias once again. He started working with kids. Kids who'd been told that they were too broken to matter. He looked them in the eyes and told them what no one had told them. He looked right directly in their eyes and said, You're not bad. You're not garbage. You're hurting and you deserve help." He became the man the world forgot to send him. And every time someone asked him how he made it out, he said, "No child is born broken. But if you leave them in the dark long enough, they'll stop believing in the light." Guys, this story isn't real, but it is happening right now. In the shadows of our cities, in overburdened schools, and forgotten corners of neighborhoods that don't make the news. Every one of us says, what can we do? How can we stop crime? How can we stop criminals? Well, there are thousands of Eliases with soft hearts hardened by hunger, with hands that once held caterpillars and now clutch fear, with eyes still looking, still hoping that someone will see them. They're trapped in there, guys, and they just need your kindness. And maybe that someone that can help them is you. So today, I ask you, don't look away from the brokenness. Look deeper. Please see the child beneath the ashes. See the boy who kissed fireflies and believed in magic. See him and believe that he is still in there, because I guarantee you he is. That belief, that love, it can bring someone back to life. It really can, and it does. This has been Infinite Threads, guys. I'm Bob Barnett, and love is the thread that brings the light back. I love you all very, very much, and I say so every single day. And you know what I need you to do? Go out and pass that on. Later.
Every storm